Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with Our Trade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. And what it stands for is simply making a plan for the week. And I always like to quote traders when they say you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with Our Trade. I've been trading and involved in trading for the past 24 years. I started as a prop trader in New York City, and I did it straight for 11 years, and then I went to a less stressful environment and started to mentor and educate others. The agenda of the webinar, as usual, for regulars, you know what we do here. We speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex world. We mix technicals with fundamentals. We go through economic calendar. We go through some earnings for the stocks, if there are any. Today specifically, we'll be focusing on what triggered the sell-off last week, what to expect this week. We'll go through events and announcements on economic calendar. We'll go through few stocks that are going to be reporting. Also, we'll take a look at the losers and the gainers in commodity world. The same thing with the stocks. We'll take a look what moved higher, what moved lower today in Forex as well. And at the end, we'll take a quick look at cryptocurrencies and see what's happening there. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at amatrade.com website. Of course, what we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media channels, please feel free and feel encouraged to follow us on Telegram, X, and my favorite YouTube, where you can find a lot of educational material, tutorials. You can find webinars. You might be watching this on YouTube, as all our webinars are being recorded and posted. So please feel free to subscribe, click on that bell so you'll be notified, and feel free to share it with people that you think might benefit from this. So as usual, I prepare few slides here, a few screenshots from the articles. You can find these articles on the marketwatch.com. Of course, it's all about the tariffs, and the articles all over the place that you can find. So this is the article that the title says stock market suffers weekly loss after Trump tariffs jitters strike again. So as you could see here on Friday, these are the cash indices. The S&P down almost 1%, Dow Jones percent, and Nasdaq down almost 1.4%. So I'll share with the moment the idea of what happened on Friday. So here's another article. This is the second part of Trump's affect the market. On Friday, of course, there was a press conference. Let's just read it together so we'll get an idea. If there's one thing President Donald Trump likes, it's keeping people on their toes. His latest tariff announcement did just that, sowing confusion among markets and international community. On Friday, Trump said he plans to announce reciprocal tariffs next week on countries with their own levies on U.S. imports, fulfilling a long-standing campaign promise. The announcement made investors jittery, prompting the U.S. stock market to slump Friday afternoon. And they give you the numbers that we already went through. And says here, the president didn't release many details Friday, adding to the market's sense of uncertainty. But his past comments provide clues as to how the tariffs could pair up. So let's just speak chronologically. Friday, we had in the Michigan consumer sentiment, and it went down about 5%, and it's the lowest since July 24, according to the sources here. And also, it shows the sharp uptick in inflation worries, and the expectation is 4.3% from last month's 3.3%. And this is the highest inflation expectation since November 2023. So that started really moving the market lower. And of course, there's the picture from press conference. During the press conference, Trump said that he's going to take measures against the countries that impose tariffs against the US. And I'm going to quote here what he says. I think that's the only way to do it, Trump said. They charge us, we charge them. So that's so first it was the Michigan consumer sentiment with the higher inflation expectation, and then the words of Trump really pushed the markets lower. We're going to take a look at the chart at the moment what happened. Also, as you could see from the latest changes, this is the CME tools, the predictions on the Fed's next move. The next meeting is 19th of March, and see how the numbers changed. So a month ago, it was about 37.5% probability of the rate cut. A week ago, it went down to 16%, and now it's at 8% probability of the interest rate cut. It's pretty much none, right? Very small. So that's the CME tools. You can, by the way, you can follow this. You can just Google it, CME Fed tools, and you'll bring you to this information. Now, economic calendar for the upcoming week. First, I want to explain what it is to new people, especially. This is public information. You can access it on our web trader or the mobile app. Also, you can just Google it. A lot of sources supply this information. As I said, it's public information, no secrets, available to everyone. So here I take the high impact events only. You can choose whatever is relevant for you and your trading. And I think it is important to know these things ahead of time, especially the high impact events. So we'll just go through them really quick. Monday, the ECB President Lagarde speaking. Tuesday, the Governor of Bank of England speaking. And 2 days in a row, we had the Chair of Feds, the Powell. He testifies in front of Congress. So definitely we'll see some volatility and reaction to the market as he has to report what's happening, the plans, the situation, the big picture, and so on. So Powell testifies Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, we have CPI data following NFPs. On Friday, that we had this past Friday, right? CPI is the report, especially now after the expectations on inflation went higher. Everybody's going to be watching the CPI numbers, and we should be expecting volatility in the market as usual. Thursday, we have inflation expectation from New Zealand, CPI numbers from Germany, and GDP numbers from UK, followed by CPI from Switzerland, and PPI numbers from US also affects the markets. And Friday, we have GDP numbers from European Union and retail sales from US. So these are the announcements, the reports that we'll be expecting this upcoming week. And as I said, just to repeat, this is just a part of it, which is the high impact events, and there's so much more there, okay? Now, 10-year yields ticked higher on Friday as well, on that inflation expectation going higher. We moved higher here. We'll see how it affects the market. Dollar pumped a little bit. Gold went down on these things, and of course, the markets sold on Friday, as we saw already. Now, as a tradition, we started a while ago, the winners and the losers for the past week. We'll go in details through each one of them when we get to those assets. So in commodities, in the champion list, you have coffee up 8.5%, copper up 7.38%, wheat up 4%, and gold was still up for the week 1.8%, even though it went down a little on Friday. On a losing list for commodities, cocoa 9.5% down, palladium 8.75, platinum 3.25%, and crude oil down 2% for the week. In Forex, we had on the upside, Australian dollar 0.9, New Zealand dollar 0.45. And we'll take a look at yen. Pretty much all the currencies sold again. The yen, these are the big numbers here. Dollar yen went down 2.43%, pound yen 2.36, and USD CAD sold 1.63%. So again, these are the losers and the winners and the losers for the upcoming week. Now, earning reports. We're still in the season of reports from the U.S. companies, and this week, of course, there's so much more. These are one of the major stocks that will be reporting. I'm not sure if all of them are tradable at AvaTrade, but you can just take a look what's relevant for you. Monday, we have McDonald's reporting. Tuesday, Coca-Cola, DoorDash, Marriott International, Shopify, and Supermicro Computers. Wednesday, Cisco Systems, and Thursday, Airbnb, Applied Material, Coinbase Global, Deere, and Wynn Resorts. So these are the companies reporting, or some of them that are reporting this upcoming week. Okay, we'll move now to the charts and go through the assets that we mentioned. We'll start with indices. We'll start with China, actually. So you could see as the global markets pretty much went down on Friday, China bounced on Friday after holding this level. As we mentioned already a few times, this level around 12,850 is being kind of going up and down from this level and not really moving anywhere. And this is the level where we initially stopped from this sell-off, and that was back and at the end of November of last year. And we're still holding that level. Sometimes it's support, sometimes the resistance. So it's just another time when we actually bounce off that level. Let's see if that starts to move higher or not. So that's on China. Now, Japanese index, we had the move down, of course, in sympathy with the US markets. Also, the strength of yen probably added more reasons for the Japanese Nikkei to go lower. As I could see here, we are trading, or we did close below the 200 moving average here. If yen continues to strengthen there, we might see continuation down on the Japanese index. Now, US indices, as we mentioned, S&Ps and Dow Jones fell about 1% on Friday. As you could see here, something really catches an eye. Take a look. If you take a look at this chart, this is a second consecutive lower high. As you could see from the highs here, from end of January, we had a lower high, and this is another lower high. And technically, we actually had a lower low as well. So we could be seeing the change of trend. But as of now, it's a little bit early to say. We still are above the three major moving averages, above 50, 100, definitely above the 200. So that was Friday. Dow Jones, as we said also, it went down about 1%. And here we go. We had a few attempts to break through the highs. And Thursday and Friday, we sold here. NASDAQ, as well, I think we had the second lower high from the previous high here. Let's see what's happening there. Again, the earnings and everything else. We'll take a look at the individual stocks as well and see what's happening. Germany, after making the all-time high on Thursday, Friday, we actually sold and closed below the previous peak here. We'll take a look how this week plays. Germany with some announcements and speeches from European Union and Germany as well. And UK had a nice run after the latest rate cut. On Thursday was a strong day, which we gave away more than half of it later, and Friday was in red. So these are the indices. Again, the US major indices went down on Friday. S&P's down percent, Dow Jones down 1%, and NASDAQ down about 1.4%. So that's all about indices, and let's go through the individual stocks. We start with Netflix. Netflix been super strong. I guess this sell-off in the market's not really affecting it, even though we had a red day on Friday, but almost flat here. The opening and closing price, it's within $1, which is almost nothing for the price that's trading above 1,000, right? So Netflix super strong. It continues, and actually I had some entertaining details here just to bring a little bit excitement here. So I took it from Benzinga Newswire, and it says the following. Netflix has outperformed the market over the past 20 years by 29.66% on annualized basis, producing the average annual return of 38.05%. Currently, Netflix has a market capitalization of 434.77 billion. And it gives you, this is the fun part, buying 100 worth in Netflix, what would it give you? It says right here, if an investor had bought $100 of Netflix stock 20 years ago, it would be worth, you ready? $63,707.53 today, based on the price 1016.40. Interesting. So that's Netflix. Not bad. 20 years, $100 would turn into 63.7 thousand. That means $1,000 would translate into 630,000, and so on. Very nice. Okay. Next one on the upside, Uber. There's articles all over the place that the head of Pershing Square, Ackman, as you know, is one of the big investors and the hedge fund owner, I believe. He is holding now about $2 billion worth of Uber. So that's news, kind of added more buying sentiment to this stock. Another one, Meta, had a nice move. As you could see, it's getting very choppy here with a lot of tails, but nevertheless, we are at the all-time highs. We did close a little bit below, I think, but still, it looks strong. Google, turning to the negative part, Google after the earnings gap down and continues lower there. Tesla also down on lower Chinese sales. As you could see here, slowly we're stepping lower. We did close at 361. NVIDIA, I'm going to switch to MT5 now. NVIDIA is slowly stepping up. As you could see here, let's just take a quick look. Even on Friday, when the market was selling, NVIDIA is stepping slowly higher. And as you could see here, we came to a very serious level around $130. We had resistance, we had few supports before going higher. Then we did this big drop, if you remember that, with the Chinese AI story, right, over the weekend. And slowly, maybe we're trying to close the gap. Nevertheless, we climbed above the 200 moving average here. This is the 30-day trading above. And this is the key part. When the market sold and the NASDAQ went down 1.4%, and NVIDIA actually closed in green. So that's NVIDIA. Intel is having a hard time. It is retesting the lows, as you could see at the few attempts. First attempt at this level was August of last year, then again September. Then we tried to move higher. Then we came back December, retesting or trying to retest that level again mid-January, and then again right now. So just to remind us, this move here was on the rumors that Intel is for sale. So far, we didn't have anything solid in that direction. The earnings are not so great. I guess the investors lost their interest as well. But as of now, we are holding this level. And just to remind us, a while ago we mentioned that this is about the current level around 19, a little bit below. It's a book value of the company, and they explained that even if they had to liquidate the company and sell all their physical assets, that's what would cost per share. So I guess that's why we're holding steadily there. Who knows? Maybe we'll hear some news on a takeover. Maybe something else will happen. But as of now, this level, about 18.75 is holding there. That's on Intel. Microsoft is not doing that great. As you could see here, it's been not an easy path for Microsoft. We are holding these current levels here around between 400 and 410, and it is actually retesting that support. Let's see. This is what the big move happened, and that's where a lot of actions were happening here around 410, and here on Friday we closed below. As you could see, we are clearly trading below the 50, 100, and 200, so we technically are in the downtrend on Microsoft. Nike also is not very happy. I guess just do it. It's not working anymore. Sorry for my sarcasm, just being here, quoting the motto. We did break, as you could see here, we held this level back in August. Then again, we held that support mid-January, and we just broke down with the gap closing lower there. So some of the analysts actually downgraded the stock. One of them is Citigroup. The analyst name is Paul Lejeune. He downgraded Nike from buy to neutral and lowered the price target from 101 to 72. We're trading at 78. Okay, that's as far as Nike. Another one is very interesting, Teva Pharmaceutical. As you could see here, if you remember, if you're here for a while at my webinars, we start talking about Teva when we start doing zigzagging between $7 and $11. Then we said that it's trying to break, and on the monthly chart, it looked very good. This base went for a long time until we start breaking out through 10, then 14, then so on. Then we had a good news about, I don't remember what medicine was it. I got excited. It came all the way to 22.78. Then I guess the earnings came not so great. We had a huge gap and moving lower. And we just closed that gap with the medicine news. So the question is, what's now? Is this a buying opportunity, or we're going to go lower? And I guess we'll find out soon. If we are continuing lower, we might be facing a lower levels and looking for that support. It could be the bottom of this weekly candle here, which is at 1626. It's about $0.50 from where we are now. So we'll watch Teva again on possible reversal or continuation. We are below the 200 moving average. We're clearly in a downtrend here, it looks like it. So we'll see what's next. Now, banks are very, very strong. Friday, we had a little correction on all of them, and they are clearly at the all-time high territories. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, not so much. I had the resistance at the previous level here, and Citigroup also. So all of them Friday are in red. Let's see if the market pulls in or further moves lower, we might see also a reversal in the banks as they're really hanging out there very, very high at the all-time highs. And two other things that I wanted to mention, I mentioned a few times, as volatility increases, we have VIX, which is the fear factor, some traders call it, is also moving. I think it was up on Friday, 6 or 7%. So there are two assets that we mentioned a few times. UVXY, it's something they called ProShares VIX short term. This is the ETF that goes with the VIX. Just to remind us, here when we had a big move in August when the market sold, this instrument went from 20s to 60s in pretty much 2-3 days, right? And then came right back. So it's lifting its head again here. We had the move on, if I take 1 hour chart, you could see it a little bit better. We were trading around 18s, then we came above 19. So if volatility continues to increase, we might see a pop up in VIX and in UVXY respectively. Another one, if Nasdaq continues selling, this is the SQQs, which is ProShare Ultra Short ETFs. It goes the opposite of another ETFs, which is QQQ. So this one is SQQQ, I guess S stands for short. Also, as you could see, we had a base here as Nasdaq was testing the highs. If Nasdaq continue falling, sliding, or dropping strong, this ETF might continue to the upside. Similar situation here. We had back in August, right here, we had a huge move from 40s to almost 60 here in the 3 days. So something to pay attention. Okay, moving to the earnings. We'll go through few of the stocks that are reporting. McDonald's was reporting on Monday. The stock held here the 200 moving average. From here, we moved above 50, and we are facing resistance at the 100 moving average. They are reporting on Monday. On Tuesday, we have Coca-Cola, Marriott, Shopify, Supermicro, others. I'm not sure if all of them are trading on AvaTrade platform, but Marriott International does trade. You can find it on MetaTrader 5. I'm just trying to find it now. Marriott right here. Marriott is reporting on Tuesday. The stock's been super strong. You could see here the all-time highs. So let's see how the earnings will affect the share price. Next one is Cisco. Also, it looks strong, but here the latest 2 days, Thursday and Friday, went lower. We are trading a little bit shy of all-time highs, it looks like it. So let's see what that Wednesday earning report will bring for Cisco Systems. Airbnb, everybody heard of that stock, right? As you could see, it's a lot of tails, a lot of choppy trading, but they are reporting on Thursday. So does the Coinbase. Coinbase is trading below 50-day moving average here. We start making from the highs, we start making lower lows and lower highs. And they are reporting on Thursday. And the last one we want to see is the Wynn Resorts. Interesting. Marriott, we spoke about Marriott, right? Marriott looks good, and Wynn Resorts not so much. There was a huge move here that ended in October. Since then, we've been sliding lower with the lower lows, lower highs, and we're facing the support at around 80 from January 10th. So they are reporting on Thursday. Okay, so let's move to commodities, and we'll start with the winners and the losers. Let's take a quick look. So we said coffee was the biggest winner, and let's take a quick look. Coffee just flying. If you remember, I think last week I mentioned that coffee reminds me of that move on cocoa when the cocoa just starts flying vertical, right? So here's coffee. And we had a huge move correction, We had a nice base here of accumulation before continuing higher. And now we are 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive months to the upside. Interesting. Thursday, we went higher. Friday, we made a lower high here, but a higher closing. So let's see what brings what this week brings for coffee. Again, up 8.48%. Another one's copper. I think a lot of it to do. I'll just show you China. As I mentioned, Thursday and Friday, China index moved higher, and as we mentioned a few times, copper is very sensitive to it, as China is a big user and importer of copper. So copper had a huge move in the past few days. Pretty much the whole week we're moving higher. Besides Thursday was a little bit of a cool down day, and Friday was a huge move to the upside. So let's see how this week, we could see continuation. If Chinese index moves higher, we might see continuation and looking for next level of resistance. So that's copper up 7.38%. Another one is wheat. Also had a strong week. Here's on the weekly chart. We did close above 50-week moving average. And on the daily, we are trading above 200 moving average here. And wheat was up 4%. Gold is next one. Gold had a strong week. On the way to some investors and traders are saying we might hit 3,000 by the end of the year. That's what they say, but it could happen soon, or could happen all the way till the end of the year. So anyway, up 1.8% for the week, and it was down on Thursday, almost flat on Friday. That's on gold. And again, simple logic, when there's a lot of uncertainty, which markets don't like, and President Trump is very talented in bringing that uncertainty to the market with his policies and announcements. And I guess investors and traders just thinking, while all this thing is going on and we don't really know what's going to happen next minute, let's just invest into gold, a classic scenario of safe haven. I guess that's what's happening. So gold is remaining strong here, up 1.8% for the week. Now, cocoa, as we mentioned, is the past 2 weeks has been moving lower. This past week was a strong move to the downside, down almost 10%, 9.42%. You could see here the whole week we pretty much were going lower since hitting this 11,700 level, and we did close on Thursday below the previous low here from December 27th, which was 10,057. So we are below that psychological 10,000 level. Let's see what's next. I mean, last time we were accumulating a lot here, and for a long time around 7,000, and then moved to the high. It could be that we might move lower, and first, of course, it's going to be around 9,000, and then if you break that, we might come all the way where a lot of buyers held the orders around 7,000, not letting it slide lower. So that's cocoa. Palladium, after a nice pop recently, this past week was not so great. We did not erase fully the previous week, but maybe roughly visually, if you look at it, maybe 70, 80%. On the daily chart, as you could see here, we had the 3 consecutive moves to the upside, and then it took a whole week to almost give it away. Like I said, about 80% of that move. And we did close below the 200 moving average on Palladium. So let's see what's next. Are we holding 200 and reversing back higher, or we're moving lower to look for next support? Platinum as well. After moving higher recently, we had a sell-off this past week on platinum. Let's see how this week plays out. Platinum was down 3.25%, 3.28% to be precise. And crude oil is down again, to remind us that Trump's slogan, drill baby drill. Since that, oil has been selling, and we came to this, getting closer to that $70 level. And let's see what happens in oil. Again, geopolitically, the ceasefire continues in the Middle East between Israel and Lebanon, Israel and Gaza. There's some progress in negotiations. And briefly, we had a pop in oil to the upside when the American administration said something about Iran and building up a nuclear weapon. And then we continued lower. Friday, we had the uptick in oil. So we are close to that psychological $70 level. And let's see how this week will play for oil. Now, moving to Forex, we had two winners, which is Aussie and New Zealand dollar, as we mentioned. Here's Aussie. We did close this week above the 50-day moving average after this spike, taking out the stops. It could be a reversal here. We could be moving higher. Also, just to remind us, both Australian and New Zealand dollars are sensitive to what's happening in China. So maybe if China will show strong signs of moving higher, we might see also Australian and New Zealand dollar moving higher as well, as are selling a lot of products to China. So we did close above. Aussie USD up 0.9% for the week, as you could see here clearly. Next one is New Zealand dollar, also up a little less, 0.45%, also closing above the the 50-day moving average here, and then retesting it. So we are holding that level down. Now on the losing side, as we said, yen has been super strong, and we spoke about the yen almost, if not every meeting, with the Bank of Japan having a pressure to increase the interest rates to control the inflation. So this is the first time in a while. I think last time we were below the 200 moving average. It was December 10th. So about 2 months it took us to come back below the 200 moving average. It could be that we are in the downtrend. We're making lower lows, lower highs below all moving averages here. And dollar yen was down 2.43% for the week. You could see a big drop, also closing below the 50-week moving average there. Another one is pound yen, is also sold heavily here. We did break below the previous support and the one next before that. So down 2.36%. Also, dollar CAD, after this huge move to the upside, as you could see here, that was when the Trump announced the tariffs against China. Sorry, against China, Canada, and Mexico. So that was a huge gap, which then they decided they will postpone it for a month. Reaction was very strong to the opposite direction, and we're back to this channel between 142.50s and 144.60s, right here, about 200 pips channel. And that was a strong reversal here, covering the gap the very next day, even going lower. So USD CAD down 1.63% for the week, as you could see here. Huge move in reversal. Let's just take a look at all the Japanese yen pairs. Swiss JPY, we mentioned it many times. We could be on the way to retest the previous support, because from here, as you could see on the weekly basis, we start taking or making lower highs and lower lows. It could be a reversal, a strong reversal here. So a huge move down on Swiss yen. Aussie yen as well went lower. Canadian actually went high here as Canadian dollar had some strength towards the end of the week. Euro also testing the previous support here. This is very important. I'll just mark it here. But the low here was 156.17. 156.17. This is an interesting level. Okay, so as you could see here, go left, the move here started ending up at the high comparing to the previous one. Then we stopped again, beginning of December, moving higher and stopping at the resistance here. From then, we start making lower highs, lower lows, and we came to that level again. It looks like the first attempt was rejected. So that 156.17 level on Euro yen is holding for now. It's important to watch that. New Zealand yen is sliding lower here as well, in a clear downtrend over here. So if you take currencies, looks like Japanese yen has been a winner and really gaining strength against all the major currencies here. And let's just take a look in general on the dollar index. Here we go. You remember we mentioned dollar index has been trading lately between 107 and 108. And now that report on Friday that showed the expectation of inflation increases, put the yields higher. That also helped the dollar to go higher as well. So we are above all the moving averages here on dollar index. Let's see what this week brings. And as we said, for dessert, we'll take a quick look at cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin clearly trading below 100,000. As you could see, this tail tried to move higher. We had a flat opening and closing for a few sessions. It just tells you that we are not sure where we're going to go. Here we go. On the 6th, on the 7th, on the 8th, flat line, opening and closing pretty much the same. And as we speak, it's trying to move a little higher from here. So that's on Bitcoin. XRP had this huge spike down below 2, I think ended up in the 170s. Let's see. 1.80 low. And the past 3 sessions, it's trying to move high here in XRP. And Ethereum is showing weakness here. We are trading at 26.64. Okay, so that's it for this market review. Again, please don't forget about this social media. Subscribe, click on those bells on YouTube so be notified, share with people, write your comments, feel free to communicate with us. And let's just wrap it up in a few sentences, all that we spoke about. So last week, it was pretty strong until Friday. We had the Michigan survey, which showed drop in confidence and increase in the expectation of the inflation. Then Trump saying retaliation in tariffs, and that actually pushed the market higher strongly. We closed S&Ps and Dow about 1% lower, Nasdaq 1.4%. We had dollar moving a little bit higher. Gold is gaining strength on that safe haven effect as uncertainty brings a lot of fears. We had a jump in VIX as volatility increases. We have earnings this week. We have Powell testifying in front of Congress twice. We have CPI, PPI numbers from US. It's going to be a busy week. I want to wish everyone a good weekend, get some energy, get some juice to go. And I wish everyone an exciting and productive and successful week. Take care, all the best.